Hi guys, today I show you how I make this yummy bitter leaf soup using dried and preserved bitter leaves. So first thing I do is to take out the bitter leaf from the ziplock and proceed to washing it. This bitter leaf was just dried and washed without being cut. So most people like to use long bitter leaves, but I'm going to be cutting this into three like the length, to have a reduced length so that it's easy to eat. Not everyone likes the long bitter leaf. So what I'm doing right now is to wash this bitter leaves properly with hot water. The reason for washing with hot water is to get it to start to soften as soon as possible. So I will wash it properly first to take out any dust on it because it was dried after washing. So I will wash it like this and then proceed to putting it on the fire. At this point it has boiled very well and it's very soft right now. I'm proceeding to wash it. The bitter leaf was still bitter, so you want to wash it. You know, when washing the fresh one, you don't want to crush it so much so that you don't get it in so many pieces. So right now I'm going to wash it very well. After I've washed it, I'm going to cut it into tiny sizes, not so tiny, just into 3. So in my pots, I've transferred the cow skin, the beef washed already, and shaki. I'm going to proceed to season this with some onion, some salt, some stock cube, and some pepper. Guys, by now you know that I like onion in my soup. Not all the soup, in some, okay? I like to season my beef with onion, and I'm not so high on salt. So I'm adding salt at this point because the cow skin, that's the pomo, has already been smoked, so it's not so strong. Guys, sometimes when you add salt to beef at the start, it hardens the meat. So you want to know the kind of meat that you have before you add the salt. You can leave it to just cook with stock cube, pepper, and then later you add the salt so that it doesn't harden it. Okay, and right now I've allowed it, you see the juice that it has produced by itself. At this point, I'm transferring the stockfish. Guys, the stockfish that I have here is cod, very strong. So you see, notice that I transferred it from water. So in that water, I have already washed the stockfish properly and soaked it overnight and put it in the refrigerator. The reason I did this is because I'm not cooking this with a pressure pot. Guys, if you have a pressure pot that will speed in the cooking process of the cod stockfish, then feel free to leave it and do it at the same time. But I had to soak this overnight so that it can soften already before I start to cook. That's a hack. It's a good method when you are using cod and you don't have a pressure pot. So at this point, I'm trying to make the paste for the soup. Guys, for this particular soup, I am using Ofor for this recipe. Yes, I want to show you how to use Ofor to cook your bitter leaf soup. So see, the soup is boiling so well. I've added the paste that I already made, and I will allow it to boil very well. At doing this, the oil will cook also and the Ofor will cook. You will see the beautiful color of the soup. Guys, you don't want so much thickener. If you are using cocoyam, at the point that I also added the Ofor is when you want to add your cocoyam and palm oil. So right now I've added the smoked fish and some pepper. Also I've added the ogiri. Sorry you couldn't see it. But I've added the ogiri. Of course, you cannot cook bitter leaf soup without ogiri. So feel free to add the much that you want. And at this point, I'm adding the bitter leaf soup. You can see how it looks. It doesn't look different from the one you just washed now. I'll add it and cover the pot and allow it to cook for about 5 minutes before I stir it properly. And finally, guys, I'll be adjusting this. If it needs some more salt, then I will add. But guys, at this point, I don't add any more salt. What I'll be adding is just some more pepper because we like our heat. And finally, I'll be adding the ground crayfish in it. That's the last thing I add to my bitter leaf soup. And then I'll allow it to cook for some more, for about 5 minutes, just to marry well and marinate well. Guys, this is the only recipe you need when you're cooking with dried bitter leaf. It's almost the same thing with when you're cooking with fresh bitter leaf and ede. Just follow this recipe and it's a hit. If you've watched to this point, guys, you know what to do. Tell me from where you are watching. I want to shout out to you. I want to leave a shout out to you and throw a hug for you. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for sticking with us. And this is it finally. You can eat this with curry. You can eat it with pounded yam. You can eat it with fufu. It's yummy. It's healthy. It's delicious. Thanks for watching.